All right, let's jump right in. We're going to explore the massive story that runs through the entire Bible. But forget thinking of it as a list of do's and don'ts. We're going to look at it as one single epic four-act drama.
Have you ever stopped and wondered what the real story is? You know, if you strip away all the traditions and the different practices, is there one big idea, one narrative that holds the whole thing together? Well, the answer is a huge emphatic yes.
And this, right here, is the key to everything. The Bible isn't first and foremost a rule book you have to follow to get on God's good side. No, at its very core, it's a rescue story. It's about a God who sees his creation in rebellion and ruin and launches the most incredible rescue mission imaginable. Let's walk through it.
Okay, so let's set the stage, Act 1. This is where it all begins. And it doesn't start with a problem or a conflict. It starts with a world that is breathtakingly beautiful and absolutely perfect. This is the original blueprint.
I mean, the very first words of the story tell us that creation is this incredible gift. Everything we see, everything we experience, it was all designed with purpose and care. And then God himself steps back, looks at all of it, and declares that it is very good. It was whole, it was perfect, it worked exactly the way it was supposed to.
And right in the middle of this perfect world, humanity gets this incredibly special role. We weren't just another creature. We were made in the image of God. We were designed to live coram Deo. That's a Latin phrase that basically means living right there in the presence of God under his loving care and for his glory. So what in the world does being made in God's image even mean? Well, here's a great way to think about it. We were created to be like mirrors. Our job was to reflect God's character, his goodness, his creativity, his love, out into the rest of creation. We were supposed to show the world what its maker was like. Pretty amazing, right? But you know, every great story has a conflict, a moment where everything changes. And that brings us to Act 2. The perfect blueprint we just talked about, it's about to be shattered. This is the great breaking. The story tells us that humanity, who had been given everything, chose to turn its back on the giver. This wasn't just a simple mistake or a little slip-up. It was a deliberate act of rebellion that unleashed total chaos into a perfectly ordered world. And look at the fallout. The results were absolutely catastrophic. That perfect relationship with God, it was replaced by a massive breach. Life that was full of purpose gave way to suffering and eventually death. And the harmony and openness between people, it shattered into hiding and shame. Everything that God made good was now tainted. This is so crucial to understand. Sin isn't just about breaking a few rules. It's way, way bigger than that. The theologian R.C. Sproul called it cosmic treason. Just think about that. We were created to be representatives, mirrors of the King of the universe, and instead, we sided with his enemy. It is the ultimate act of betrayal against a loving king. And that brings us to Act 3, the absolute turning point of the whole story. Because in the face of this cosmic treason, you'd expect God to just scrap the whole project, right? But he doesn't. Instead, he kicks off a rescue mission, a plan so wild, so unlikely, it's almost hard to believe. The theologian J.I. Packer just nails it with this quote. The very first move in this rescue plan is the incarnation. God becomes a man. The infinite creator of everything steps into our broken world as a human being, Jesus Christ. Honestly, it's the most mind-bending truth in the universe. Now, this rescue plan involves the whole being of God, who the Bible tells us is a Trinity. Now, this can get complex, but it boils down to these three truths. God is three distinct persons, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Each one of those persons is 100% God. And yet there is only one God. It's this one God who is carrying out the rescue. So, how does this rescue actually play out? Well, it centers on the cross. See, the just penalty for cosmic treason is death. But in this incredible act of love, Jesus, the one person who never committed treason, steps in and dies in our place. His death was a substitution. The one takes the punishment for the many, satisfying God's justice completely. But the story doesn't end in a tomb. The climax, the peak of the rescue, is the resurrection. And it's not just Jesus coming back to life, it is the reversal of death itself. It's the ultimate proof that the rescue mission was a success and that Jesus totally defeated sin and death for us. So, where does that leave us? The rescue has happened, the hero has won. What now? Well, that brings us to Act 4. This is the new beginning.
And the first thing that happens because of this rescue is that a new community is born. See, it's not just about a bunch of individuals getting saved on their own. It creates a new people, a family, that we call the church.
Let's be super clear on what the church is. It is not a building. It's a living, breathing community of people whose hearts have been made new by God. They are the rescued ones, and now they've been given a mission.
And what's that mission? Well, it's to go back to that original purpose, to be mirrors reflecting God's character to a watching world. They're meant to invite other people into this amazing rescue story, to work for healing and justice in a broken world, and to wait with incredible hope for the final act.
And this is so, so important. The ultimate hope for a Christian isn't about escaping earth and floating on a cloud somewhere. It's about God's kingdom coming fully. It's about God restoring and recreating this world, making a new heavens and a new earth where everything broken is made new and that original, perfect blueprint is finally complete. So there you have it, the grand story in 4 acts: creation, fall, redemption, and restoration. A perfect world made, a perfect world broken, an unbelievable rescue mission, and the promise of a new beginning for everything and everyone.
And that really just leaves us with one final, very personal question. If this whole epic, cosmic story is true, if it's really all about a rescue, does your life look like the life of someone who has truly been rescued? That's definitely something we're thinking about.